Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Kol Halayim, Adonai Yahweh, Ba'ashem Shamalak Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Habayat Shamalak Davadah, the house of King David, and to the fusion of faces that look like these heathen nations, but that identity goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the very holy Joseph Selah. Shalom. And this lesson is going to be about spiritual powers coming soon. So there's no need to fear. The Most High will deliver you out of Jacob's trouble, and he will give you that spiritual power that a lot of brothers like us in this truth have been, this is the moment we've been waiting for. And out of Ratazah, if we're part of those men that make it, we will get that spiritual power. But if you think about it, this word is already spiritual power because, you could use it to to really hurt people. And you could use it to make people stop coming back and forth with you and, in debates and stuff like that. But, that's for another lesson. But I just want to focus on the spiritual power that everybody else will perceive as superpowers, basically. This is basically what they do when they make DC superheroes, Marvel superheroes, or what they show in anime, all that type of power. That's actually spiritual power. That's that right hand side power. And that's what the Most High is going to give to us. We're going to get it on this side. He's going to bless his men with that type of power. And I'll give off a couple scriptures, so hopefully y'all can get edified. So I'll start off with Isaiah 40:29. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles, and they shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. So yeah, you see power like Superman. He could run fast. He could fly really fast. And the Flash, he runs at a expeditious speed. He that's the type of power the Most High is going to give us. He's going to increase our stamina. He's going to increase our strength and our speed. And he's going to give us powers in teleportation as well. Spiritual powers, this Bible pretty much influenced DC and Marvel, all those type of superheroes and anime shows. They all get this stuff from the scriptures. All of it has been influenced by the scriptures. And even, the movies as well. All types of films and comic books and all that shit. Mangas. They've all been influenced by the Bible. And I'll go to Isaiah 41 and verse 13. For I, the Lord thy God, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. And you see, that's the right hand. Talking about that. That's that right hand side, which is the righteous, that's the good side. And that's the side that controls the left hand side. Because the right hand side is more powerful. And on the right hand side is pretty much Yahushai and the rest of the the holy angels like Michael and his angels on the right hand side. That's the right hand side power that the most, and the hopeful elect, we stand on the right hand side as well. That's the spiritual side. Yeah. So it says right here, verse 14, fear not thou worm, Jacob, and ye men of Israel, I will help thee, save the Lord, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument, having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains, and beat them small, and shalt make the hills as chaff. Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them. And thou shalt rejoice in the Lord, and shalt glory in the Holy One of Israel. When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, and their tongue faileth for thirst, I the Lord will hear them. I the Lord of God of Israel will not forsake them. I will open rivers in high places, and fountains in the midst of the valleys. I will make the wilderness a pool of water, and dry land springs of water. So yeah, so the Most High, you see right there, he's promising that, with spiritual power, that we're going to be safe. You know, he's going to protect his elect, the men that didn't forsake his word, the men that took heed to his word. And I don't know what we're part of that number. Let me see. Go to Isaiah 59. It says, uh, Isaiah 59:17, for he put on righteousness as a breastplate, and a helmet of salvation upon his head, and he put on the garments of vengeance for clothing, that and was clad with zeal as a cloak. According to their deeds, accordingly he will repay fury to his adversaries, recompense his enemies to the islands. He will repay recompense. So they shall fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Then the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression, and Jacob saith the Lord. So yeah, that's pretty much talking about like when an enemy like Esau, he comes as a flood with martial law. Some brothers may be blessed with spiritual power by then. Some brothers will might have to be martyrs, and they'll come back on this side with that spiritual power to put fear on these Edomites for what they have done to our people, and what have they done to, you know, the elect, to the brothers that have been martyrs. Yeah, I'm gonna put fear on these heathens, man. This is the moment that we Israelites, of the elect, the men of the Lord, what we've been waiting for, and we really hope to be part of that number, because the Most High gave this truth to only to a certain amount of people, which is the elect, to understand it, starting with the men. Let me see. I'll go to let me go to Zechariah 12 and 6. So it says, Zechariah 12 and 6, in that day will I make the governors of Judah like a hearth of fire and among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheath. And they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. The Lord shall save tents of Judah, first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, as Yahweh, as the angel of the Lord before them. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. Yeah. So that shows you right there that the Most High is really going to, he's going to magnify us and give us that spiritual power if we're really if we're those men of the Lord, if we don't fall out this truth. And I highly doubt that I will, but, how, well, Yasharahla, like, I don't know what to I'll be part of this truth and endure to the end, because, brothers will be tested in the end times, we'll be tested. And if we pass the test, he'll give us that spiritual power. Don't get me wrong, some brothers will have spiritual power, but many brothers will be protected by, by angels as well, because we're coming into some tough times in Jacob's trouble. So, and we're approaching that time. That's when the Most High has to really increase his power on his men. And, he has to give us that mighty divine protection from Esau, because Esau's coming down with great wrath, because he knows he has but a short time, and he's going to start coming in as a flood. So, and Donald Trump did say in the next 2 weeks, mass death may happen. So, we could just all probably predict that, the government is really unpredictable when they're doing certain things. That's why you can't trust in Egypt. You got to trust in Yahweh Shai. 2/3 of our people are stupid. They're doing what the heathens are doing, trusting in Egypt. Can't trust in Egypt. So, um, the scripture I wanted to get out. Let me see. Um, go to Acts 1:8. Wait, no, it's 1:7. I'll start at 7. It says, and he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power. That's what Yahushua is saying. But ye shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost part of the earth. So yeah, that power is talking about that spiritual power. This is what Yahushua promised. This is what's gonna come to his men that endure to the end, and that do this truth, to the best of their ability. This is the type of power that he's gonna come down with to bless us with. And this power you shouldn't take for granted. And this is what he said in let me get out John 14 verse 12. He says, very verily I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. And whatsoever ye shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. If ye love me, keep my commandments. So, yeah, I know this truth is like, I know that's what gets Jake, turned up in this truth, like that spiritual power. That's what gets Jake attracted, But it comes with works, And it's like you gotta pray that the Most High have that Holy Spirit on you, just for you to endure in this truth and keep doing these works to the best of your ability. And He may just give you that spiritual power. You never know. So that's what's gonna happen. That's what we're looking forward to. Us brothers in this truth, us Akim. And I know Yahweh Shai, like he was, you know, he it's that, like he showed like that spiritual power, like he showed it off, like he was one of those just like since he's the Messiah, he had the most spiritual power. And he said like he didn't even, I mean, he could have did more with his power, but like he just did a little bit. And he was like, told his disciples, he said, y'all gonna do greater than me. you know that's what he was saying. So yeah. And like sometimes like in Marvel and DC, like those type of those characters that maybe seem like they're the strongest character, like you may have like what you call it, like Apocalypse or Dark Side or whatever, but you have like other characters like in those type of let's say in that type of comic book world or something like that, like they will be like superheroes of the show. They could do like different, they have like different varieties of power, but their power may not exceed that, you know that type of that guy, like Darksider or like Apocalypse, like those characters. Yeah. So kind of like that's how Yahweh Shai was, like he had a lot of the power, but he didn't really like show a lot of that power. I mean, he did do a lot of miracles, but like he said we're gonna do way more than that. you know he said we'll do way greater than that, and we are gonna do way more than what Samson did, more than what King David did. you know we're gonna do way more than that. And so another scripture that was coming to mind, um let me get out Micah. Let me see. Micah 4:13, it says, arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hoofs brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their gain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. And Psalms 148, let me see, verse 14, it says, He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye Yasharahla, the Lord. And I'm going to show you what the definition of horn. It's not talking about like a physical horn, but I'll show you what it means. So it says, the word horn in BibleStudyTools.com, the word horn is often used metaphorically to signify strength and honor, because horns are the chief weapons and ornaments of the animals which possess them. Hence, they are also used as a type of victory. Of strength, the horn of the unicorn was the most frequent representative. So yeah, horn represents power. And it says the Hebrew and Aramaic, like the words is horn, Karen and Kiros. So now let's look at the definition of Karen. So you see, it has a list of definitions. A, horn. B, of strength. C, flask. D, horn, and musical instrument. E, horn. And then let me get to this last part. F, of rays of light. So now you see that right there is showing you that's one of the definition of horns. Rays of light. So you know what that means, right? That means that Most High gonna exalt our power to the point where we're gonna shoot out laser beams, like Superman in DC comics, like Superman, he shoot out laser beams out of his eyes, and what you call it? What's that other one in Marvel? Cyclops. Yeah, he could shoot out laser beams from his eyes too. Yeah, we're gonna have powers like that. They're gonna be able to shoot it out of our hands, out of our eyes. Having super strength, super speed, being able to, spiritual power is pretty much being able to manipulate and control the elements, because everything is made up of elements. You know, that's basically like you being able to to control and manipulate and elements out of nothing. All around you is like you're breathing oxygen. That's an element, and we're being able to turn elements into you know something out of nothing. That's spiritual power. Yahushua was able to do that to feed a whole village of people. You know, 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes. That's what Yahushua did. He mean to tell me that he ain't gonna give us that spiritual power for us to feed ourselves and help us out. You know, but I know like how the Most High, how he gonna do it is like he's not gonna like give us the whole spiritual power to destroy the whole earth or to destroy a whole city or something like that. He's gonna have to raise it to a certain level to like be like he's gonna have to give it to certain brothers to give it to them at a certain scale. You know what I mean? Like how he's gonna do it is he's gonna give certain brothers some of that power to do certain things to escape from situations. He's gonna do it small like that. In the kingdom, don't get me wrong, we're gonna have that planetary, that universal spiritual power, like where we could destroy planets at ease and make planets of our own and stuff like that. Yeah, but right now he's gonna just give us that little power that to teleport or fly to destinations. Everybody in the lockdown, the government might say, oh, you can't go to a certain destination. Man, when the Most High gives us that spiritual power, we like fuck that. We go anywhere we go. We go invincible. You know, people are gonna be surprised when we have the power of Hancock and we like we ain't fucking following the laws of this earth, the laws of this land. We following the laws of Yahweh Shabbat Shai. You know, so we're gonna be like spiritual Hancocks on the right hand side. Fuck out of here. To fucking hell with Esau's laws. All his laws go against the Most High's laws, and that's not how the Most High wanted our people to live. Let me see we'll just see. Let me see. What about that word Kiros? Let me see. Uh, uh, okay, so whatever. Um, all right, but Chiron basically has the definition. Um, let me show you. Let me see. It says right here in Jeremiah 16:16, behold, I will send for many fishes, save Adonai, the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them for every mountain and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks. For my eyes are upon all their ways, they are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from mine eyes. And first I will recompense their iniquity as and their sin double, because they have defiled my land. They have filled mine inheritance with carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. O Lord, my strength and my fortress, my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come up unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Yeah. So, you're gonna have these Edomites and these other heathens that have put us in captivities. These devils and heathens, they're gonna be like, all that shit ain't worth it. You know, and that they believed in this Christianity bullshit that the Most High was all love and the Most High gonna come and redeem us all. Nah, that shit ain't true. You know, the Most High only came for His people. He only came to save His people, and first and foremost the elect, which He's gonna save right now, who He's planning on exalting and saving. You know, so these Gentiles, these heathens were made to be in captivity to serve us, and the Most High made them to destroy it, for us to what you call it, to destroy them. Yeah, that's pretty much what He did. Because these heathens were made to go off, and they were made to put us in these conditions so that the Most High could raise us up and we could fucking destroy their kingdom. He used us to build a kingdom. Now He's gonna use us to destroy it. Think of Lego, like when kids make Legos, or they make or they use a Jenga, kids like to, they like to build it up and then they like to destroy it. And that's what the Most High is going to do. We're going to destroy the very same kingdom that we had to build up over here. I know Issachar, for the most part, which are the so-called Mexicans, they like to build up a lot of houses and stuff like that. Well, guess what? Especially for these Edomites and these other heathens as well, because they like to hire Issachar to do the housework. Then they hire like some other jigs as well. Guess what? We're gonna destroy everything that has been built. You know, and everything on the next side they're gonna build for us. And in verse 16, where it says that He's gonna, we're fishing for the elect right now. Yeah, we are fishers. We're fishers of men. And that's what Yahweh trained His disciples to be. His followers to be fishers of men. And guess what? There's gonna be time we're fishing right now, fishing for the hopeful elect. Once this word is gone, it's time. Once there's a spiritual famine, according to Amos 8:11. Once that spiritual famine hits, and there's no more of the word, they control the internet. They cut off the internet, and they tell brothers that they can't prophesy. They already have it in some states where you can't prophesy. Go out in the highways and byways. Like when they start happening all over, in America and other countries where brothers prophesy, it's time to start killing. It's going to be a time of like warfare. It's going to be a time to hunt. Especially when the Most High raises His men for that spiritual power, and when it's a time that these 2/3 or whoever these 2/3 try to seek the word and they can't find it, it's time to kill. It's judgment time. You guess that right? And that's what's gonna happen. And 2/3 are gonna really regret not seeking the Lord while He was, while you were supposed to find Him. It says, what you call it? Jeremiah 51:20, Thou art my battle axe and my weapons of war, for with thee I will break in pieces the nations, and with thee I will destroy kingdoms. This is what the Most High is going to use us, His elect, to, I don't know if to be part of that number, to break these heathens and to break these other nations, these heathen nations basically, and destroy their kingdoms. And with thee I will break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee I will break in pieces the chariot and his rider. That's talking about basically like, these basically these kings, because they ride in those horses with chariots, usually, like, basically signifying how, they have power, like, they have what, many of us Akim don't have, which is like royalty. But we'll get it, starting on this side to the next, especially in the kingdom. We're gonna get that power and that respect. With thee also will I break in pieces man and woman, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee I will break in pieces the young man and the maid. He basically said woman twice, because he just said woman and then he said maid, and um yeah. So, and I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock, and with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, and with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers, and I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in the sight in Zion, in your sight, saith the Lord. So yeah, the Most High, like, he made it, like, he was repeating himself, like, saying that he's gonna really use us to really break these heathens, men and women, old and young. He don't care, because there's a thing called reincarnation, and these heathens, from the young and the old, they hate Yasharahla. They hate us Israelites, and guess what? We're gonna take everything they have stolen from us, and we're gonna destroy their kingdoms, and next side we're gonna put them in captivity. Starting with the elites of those nations, of those heathen nations, like the richest of those heathen nations. We're gonna put them in captivity. Or the next side. Um, Let me see. Wait, I'm gonna get out Revelation 11. Wait, no, 11. It says 11:3. And I'll give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,203 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before the Yahweh, the God of the earth. And those two, that signifies those two witnesses, those two olive trees, two candlesticks. That's talking about the another kingdom, the southern kingdom and another kingdom. The 12 tribes of Israel within those two kingdoms. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devour their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. Yeah, that's talking about the flamethrower that's gonna come out of our mouths. That we're gonna have power to you know to breathe fire, and to control fire with our hands and stuff like that. We're gonna have power like that. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy. That's what Elijah did. I think he made it stop raining for like about 3 years or some shit. Yeah. And have powers over waters to turn them to blood, which is what Moses did. And to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. And the plagues that happened before, you definitely best believe it's going to happen on a greater scale, you know. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually is called Sodom in Egypt, and where our Lord was crucified. Yeah. So that's basically what's going to happen, It's going to be with our spiritual power, we're going to cause a lot of bloodshed in that day. And this is the ultimate, this is one of the best scriptures that I like, about the spiritual power, because, people are going to have respect to our name. It says, start at verse 1, a psalm of David. The Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand. See? That's spiritual, that right hand, talking about that right hand power. Until I make thy enemies thy footstool. The Lord shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion. Rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beautiness of the holiness. From the womb of the morning thou hast to do with thy youth. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries. So yeah, this is what the Most High is planning on doing with his people, man, with his elect. He's gonna plan on using the elect of the nation of Israel to judge the 2/3 and to judge these devils and heathens as well. And guess what? And with that power, people are gonna be willing to respect us. You know, when we have the power to cast out demons, the power to to destroy a whole civilization, to destroy thousands of people. It said in the scriptures, let me see. I think it was somewhere like chase 1,000. Um, one man and you shall chase 1,000 for the Lord. And Joshua 23:10, for the Lord your God, he it is that fighteth for you as he have promised. In Leviticus, if 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight, and your enemy shall fall before you by the sword. That's talking about that spiritual power, man. We're gonna have power to put thousands of people at flight, man. That's what we're gonna do. You know, Jake likes to watch Dragon Ball Z. You know, we like to, watch Naruto, and um, other Jakes, as well like to watch, all this other type of animes too, like My Hero Academia, you know, and you've seen those type of power that they control elements, they could manipulate, some parts of the elements. Jake likes to do the power up from Dragon Ball Z. The Naruto like to do the hand signs and stuff like that. Amin, which is the so-called Japanese people, Amin, they know our power. That's why they make these animes and stuff. They know our true power. That's what they like. That's what they know. This is what Jake like to see. Jake get entertained by these things. Just imagine when the Most High, and you see how Jake be flexing with in the NBA and the NFL, how Jake be flexing when they, in the league, when they playing sports. Jake like to flex. If Jake is a video gamer too, Jake flex in the video games, talk, they shit, because Jake, that's what our people do. We flex on the regular when we win and stuff like that. And guess what? Imagine when we have that spiritual power. We're gonna be flexing like Hancock. People are gonna have respect for us, according to Psalms 110:3. We're gonna be like, "What you said?" We're gonna say that one more time. I'm gonna take their asses up and throw them in the fucking sky like a football, and catch them and say, all the way up in the clouds and say you're fucking sorry. That's what we're gonna do. I don't know to solve, if us, Aki and like, including me, and get that spiritual power. People gonna have respect to our names, and they're gonna ultimately, respect Yahweh Shimi Ashai. Starting with his men too. So this is what we really desperately waiting for. That spiritual power. Hope I made the lesson edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praises, honor to Adonai Yahweh, Bashim Shalom Ak Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kakadash, double honor to apostles and elders, great millstone, peace, salutations, and hope for elect. Yahweh Bashim Shai, Shalak Rayam, Adawayam, Wa, Abad Babal, the water, Aman. Shalom.